Welcome. This is Good Books Lately. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Taylor, and we're married, and we read lots of books, and we want to talk to you about the great books that we've been reading lately. What's our first segment?
Done and dusted.
Done and dusted. These are books that we have finished.
Just recently finished.
And then we're going to move into what we're calling
Bookmarks.
bookmarked. These are the ones that we are currently reading right now.
They have bookmarks in them.
them.
Physical or digital, audio, all of those.
After that, and we're workshopping this name here, but this
Yeah.
is going to be our compelling pickups. These are the most compelling single book we've picked up recently.
Yeah, something within the week.
Yeah, and
Since
in
the
case
last
of us, yesterday. And then we're going to end it with a quote of the day, something that we read.
From a book.
Yeah, that we are into. Our current read, one of our current reads, we're going to pull a quote or a line or something.
Yeah.
And we're going to share it with you guys. So we're going to try and keep this kind of streamlined and structured in that format and see how it goes. Oh, yeah.
There she is.
There's a pepper girl. Every once in a while, she will make an appearance for some scritches. Yeah, you're free to go now. Okay, we'll just carry on. All right, so for Done and Dusted, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I actually last night finished a book.
Yeah.
It's this one.
Get it in there. Here, you got to kind of like, we'll hide. Hide.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
I'll help you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's called The River of Doubt by Candace Millard. I picked it up because I'm always a nonfiction kind of guy usually, but I always like to find a nonfiction book that's not just a textbook style. It's more of a story. And this one's about Theodore Roosevelt on a journey down an uncharted Amazon River and how he nearly dies.
Okay, so you nailed that. So we had this plan that when we introduce the book that we're reading, we're going to do like a one-sentence synopsis. So we have to give you the synopsis of the book in one sentence. Yeah. Off the cuff. Like we won't plan this out ahead of time. So that was good.
But it's really cool, really good. What's up?
You described this like it's almost like fiction. The way you were explaining
it to me,
yeah. Like it's so much more than just like
there's
nonfiction.
Yeah, there's large parts that kind of like I wouldn't be surprised that somebody could take this story and like use it as inspiration for a fantasy novel or a fiction novel about an expedition or an adventure story, because it's that like you're like, wow, I'm gripped. And it does a great job of kind of also giving you an idea of like what happens with colonialism, like like how that impacts the natives, and when people from another part of the world realize there's natural resources that are to their benefit, and what happens at that point. So it does touch on that. Without that, it's still amazing, like compelling and adventurous and exciting. River of Doubt, highly recommend it. I think I rated it 5 stars.
Tell us about your Goodreads star rating.
Yeah, I'm a very easy star rater. If I finish a book, it's probably because I enjoyed it, and most likely going to get a 5 stars. If I know it's been it was kind of more simplistic, I'll give it like a 3 to 4 star, but mainly it's 4 to 5 for me, no matter what.
I finished quite a few books in the last several weeks. We both have. Yeah. But my most recent finish was one that was actually recommended to me. And I went into it thinking, because it's considered a classic, a gothic romantic, I don't even know if gothic is the right word, but just, like kind of a romantic gothic thriller, okay? And it was written in 1938 by Daphne du Maurier. I went into it thinking, I'm going to give this a try. We'll see how it goes. But I was intrigued. I was enticed because it gets excellent reviews on Goodreads. Yeah. So that is, here it is. Oops. There she is.
I like the cover.
I don't know what the cover is about. It has the vibe.
Yeah.
It really does. Okay, so a one-sentence synopsis for Rebecca. A young woman is swept off her feet by a much older gentleman whose intentions are to marry her, take her to live with him in a giant manor house that leads to her discovering that his former wife, who is no longer with us, is still ever present in the manor house, and her presence is oppressive and causing a lot of turmoil for this young woman who you never actually learn her name. That's the best I can do. It was good. So good.
The way you described it in that one sentence definitely makes it sound like it's ready to be a Hallmark movie.
It's not.
Young woman, older man, manor house, that cheesy.
No, it's not. No, it's okay. It is so good, and it is not romantic at all. Okay, so there's parts where you want it to be romantic. It's like right there on the edge of romance, and it's like kind of getting there. Like there's no spice in this book. This book was written in 1938, okay? Like there's nothing like that in this book. It's the things that are going on in her mind, all her thoughts about this Rebecca person and how she kind of doesn't feel like she fits in because she's always hearing about Rebecca this and Rebecca did it this way and this way. And a lot of times you want to shake her. It's good.
All right, so what's the rating?
Okay, I thought I gave it 5 stars, but it's for me, this is like up there with one of my favorite books ever. Okay, we are gonna do a quick fire likes and dislikes for the book that we finished. So you will go first, babe.
My likes is just how compelling the story is, and like how invested you are in the survival of these. I want to say it's like 13 minutes by the end. I would say my one dislike is that there is times where the author will, when they're going over some of the background of the characters, specifically the Brazilian commander, she will repeat herself multiple times. But otherwise, it's
okay.
Yeah. What about you?
So my likes are the exceptional turn of phrase and the way that the language, with all of its poshness, that's a word, still contributes to this real eerie sense of like foreboding. Dislikes. Do you remember we were talking about how you're reading The Road?
Yeah, it just started.
And that they don't have a lot of dialogue annotation.
Mm-hmm.
There are times in this where there's dialogue annotation that's missing, or not, it's not missing, it's just not there. And sometimes I would have a hard time figuring out like who was saying what. Honestly, that's like the most I can pull.
Right.
That's it.
All right,
okay,
cool.
quick fire. Moving on to bookmarked.
Bookmark.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. The book that I'm reading right now is called One Dark Window, and this is by Rachel Gillig. And this is a book I picked up at Writer's Block, and I picked it up thinking it was on my want to read on Goodreads. I read the back of it and it sounded interesting, but I really thought it was going to be one of those books that I'm like, okay, this is good. I'll get to it down the road. We'll put it on the bookshelf for now and whatever. But when I finished Rebecca, I was trying to find something new to read. So then I just felt like I would grab this one by chance. I would crack it open and give it a try. That was as far as I went. I was like, I'm just going to read the first couple of pages and see how this goes. And then it was like no looking back. The claws were in me and I was hooked. Now this is a dark gothic fantasy, so I have a real limited experience with fantasy. Huh?
Is Witcher fantasy?
Oh yeah, The Witcher by Andrzej Sapkowski. I listened to most of those, almost all of them except for the last one. Okay, so I guess I have a little bit of experience with fantasy. But when it comes to like romantic fantasy, it's not really one that I reach for. I'm more of like a historical fiction type. But this one, my goodness, it is so enjoyable. And my one sentence synopsis for this: in a kingdom shrouded in magical mist that can be dangerous, a young woman who's grappling with an literal internal demon that she carries on a conversation with is pulled into a treacherous scheme to overthrow the plans of the current monarchy to save the life of someone important. Okay.
Perfect.
That was really good.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at that's where I'm at. I don't know what I think it's like 52%. Bookmarked. And my quickfire likes and dislikes. I like the magic system. I feel like it's an effective magic system. I think it's like semi-hard magic, or you're learning about it as you go.
Yep.
It's not like this mysterious magic system that you never really know too much about. The thing I don't like, okay, do you mind? This isn't so much about the book that I don't like. I read somewhere after starting this that someone said it was a young adult book. And I have this thing where I'm not completely ready to settle on a young adult book. I feel like I'm not into that whole concept. I don't really want to read a young adult book. I'm like a grown-ass woman. And so when I found out that this might be young adult, or I saw a review where somebody said that, I was kind of taken aback. Like, I didn't choose a young adult fiction book. So I looked it up and I did some digging. Don't worry, it's not. It's considered romantic fantasy or romantasy, gothic romantic fantasy, but it's not considered young adult. But I guess like my slow quickfire dislike is that it was possibly considered young adult, which is kind of stupid. Eventually I'll come around.
Got tricked.
I did. You almost had me. All right, what about you?
Yeah,
What are you reading?
well, I think I want to do my first bookmarked is actually the one I'm listening to,
Yeah.
which is the second Saint of
Oh.
Steel series by T. Kingfisher. It's called Paladin's Strength. I listened to the first one,
Mm-hmm.
Paladin's Grace, and the reason I listened to that one was because of a book we read together,
The What
What
Moves
Moves
the
the Dead by T. Kingfisher, and I
Right.
was really impressed with how she wrote that book.
Hold on, keep talking.
Yeah, and so didn't realize that it's classified kind of more as a romance.
Romantic.
But no, I went right from Paladin's Grace into Paladin's Strength, and it's different characters, but same. You know one of the main characters in Paladin's Strength.
The first book of this, does it like complete a character arc for
Yeah.
one like set of characters?
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
like the next book kind of picks up a new character arc? Okay.
Yeah, it's later.
Okay.
It's after that first book, but it's a different character. My quickfire likes for it is just how great the author writes the characters, how you get connected to the characters right away. It's funny.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a slow burn up to a spice level, I guess they would call it. And there's definitely scenes in the first one. I haven't gotten to that point in the second
Yeah.
one, but you can, in both books, it's a man and a woman building up to a relationship. They both are contemplating what getting down to the bound chicka wow
Okay.
is going to be like.
Okay.
But yeah, I would recommend it. I'm reading two currently, one during the day, one before bed. The first one is Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This one is kind of all over the place. Retirees have a murder club where they solve unsolved murders, and an actual
good.
murder happens near them and they want to solve it. That's where I'm at right now.
I love it.
The other one I just started last night, The Road by Cormac McCarthy. As a father, story of a man and his son walking down a road. It's post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
or something. The landscape of the country is, from what I can tell, burnt or ash, and there's no one around. The writing in this book is great. Definitely different than anything I've read before. It's kind of broken up. I like it. I'm into it, and I can already tell that I'm probably gonna be very emotionally wrecked after it's over. Especially as a father of two boys. But
No, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in this. If it's gut wrenching, my mind always goes to like the worst possible thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And that I don't know if I could do that. I hear about these books and I hear that they are amazing works of literary fiction but I sometimes to me I wonder I don't know, like it's a lot. It's like it's a big tackle, like taxing mentally and emotionally. But sometimes you need that, and I'm sure doing this, that's kind of what I'm looking for, is like branching out of my comfort zone.
Same.
Do you want to do the one we're reading together?
Yeah, let's do it. I think that's good.
So a long time ago, I don't even remember how long ago this was, but it was before we had kids. We drove to California, and we just decided to read a book together on the road, and we read God's Behaving Badly.
Yeah,
that book, I think that book gets really bad reviews on Goodreads. I don't know.
Cheese factor, maybe.
I don't know, maybe, but I enjoyed it. We were in our like early to mid 20s at the time, and I don't know, it was good. I liked it, and we read it together, and so it was always kind of this thing that we thought we knew we could do together, and we decided 3.4. Oh, that's not horrible.
Not bad, but it's not the greatest.
Yeah. I had fun with that book.
Yeah.
That's a fun book. Okay. So anyway, after we re-engaged with reading again over the course of the last few months, we decided that we would not only have like a morning and a nighttime book, but we would have like
Our together book.
a book that we would read together.
Take turns reading.
Yeah, and we sit on our couch, we put on some like chill music that's real low, and we take turns. Like, I think we've gotten to the point where like one night it's your night to read and one night it's my
We're
night
not
to read.
passing back and forth every chapter.
Yeah. Now we are reading, we're going to get really good at this, The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager.
Yeah, it's kind of like a take
Thriller.
on, it's like a Rear Window vibe.
Yes. So, okay, one sentence synopsis, you do it. You start, I'll finish.
Woman on hard times, rock bottom, alone at her lake house.
Discovers a pair of birdwatching binoculars left by her late husband and decides to check out the house across the lake, only to discover
That
some kind of nefarious
she thinks
activity.
something is going on.
Yeah.
And then
She
all of a
thinks there's
sudden,
been
something
murder.
has happened. We're hoping that,
We're hoping there's been murder.
well, no, we're also hoping that there's more to what we are being led to assume is the way it's going. And the way it's written, you're led to believe, at least from where we're at, we're only like halfway through, a little over half, that the person that you think has done it is the one that's done it. We're hoping that that's not the case because it's so telegraphed. at this point if that's the case.
Unless something changes, like, we know who did it.
But
Everybody
now
knows
we're
who did
reading it and we're looking for the twist, and so
Yeah.
we're thinking, okay, where does it say?
where are the little nuances in the
It's good.
future?
Entertaining.
Yeah, I know. Are you trying to keep me from spoiling it?
Well, I just don't want to go too deep into it because we're not done.
Yeah, I know we're not done, but it's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
We're into it.
Yeah.
But I think we've decided that the books we read together are going to be books that we both wouldn't normally read.
Yeah. Quick fire likes and dislikes. You go ahead and do yours, and I'll do mine.
I like the suspense or like the thrilling nature of it. I my dislike would maybe just be kind of like the easiness of the writing. I feel like it's not as like developed in terms of like, you know, kind of like the conversations. It's very, yeah,
Surface level.
yeah.
Okay, so my likes are the voyeuristic mystery. The setting
Yeah.
is really interesting, being at like a lake in the forest. I like those vibes. The fall. This is a great one to read like in the fall. I guess my dislike, and it may not actually be a dislike, is the predictability. But I think
Yeah.
that we are going to be.
But is it being predictable that it's going to be a twist?
I think that's what it is. I think that it's made to feel predictable so that you are surprised
By the twist.
Which if that's the case,
feels
it goes from
predictable.
being a dislike to like.
Yeah, but then what if it's like a twist that we knew was coming?
Then I will feel like it was the story, the plot.
Helped.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, like, we're only halfway into it. If we're only halfway into it, a little over halfway, I don't think we should be that convinced at this point, right? Like, I feel like it should hold you to almost like the very end of the book. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
that would be like that's not a quick fire. Like, it's like a real analytical dislike. Yeah, but it's great. Hey,
No.
we're having fun. We look forward to reading it.
We'll let you know
Recommend it, but we'll let you
when
know
we finish if we don't recommend it.
more. If things change.
Never mind. Just add
This
some.
book stinks. Compelling pickups.
One book that we recently bought each that we are very
It's like
intrigued
the
by.
most
Yeah,
one. And we have recently picked up a lot of books because we've been doing some thrifting. And
that
that's a video
back
coming
there,
later. Yeah, this shelf
that
right back
was empty
here
of books.
had other things on it. What am I pointing at? That.
Yeah.
Those are all of our recent pickups, but they're all thrifted. You go first. What's the most compelling recent pickup?
Well, I have plenty, but the most compelling is one I wasn't looking for, didn't know anything
that's right.
about.
That's like the
We were
best.
in a Goodwill,
Yeah.
and I think I'd gone through the rack a couple of times while we were looking, and this one, The Spy and the Traitor by Ben McIntyre. Never heard of him, never heard of the book. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Thought it was maybe a fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but then realized it's a nonfiction book about a KGB guy who is actually working for MI6 during the Cold War, and I'm kind of big into that time period of world history. The cover's cool, and it gets like I'd never heard about it before. Looked it up on Goodreads. It gets like phenomenal, over 4 stars, kind of closer to 5, and I was like, and just looking at the back, reading the first couple pages, I was hooked, and so that's going to be my next nonfiction read. All right, what about you? What's the compelling pickup
Okay, my
for you?
compelling pickup is I discovered this one, hide behind there, which is My Cousin Rachel, which is another one by Daphne du Maurier, the author of Rebecca. This one apparently is fantastic as well. It's a similar kind of gothic romance, I guess. I don't know. I've only ever read the back of it, and even I don't really remember what's going on.
A classic story of mystery and love from the best-selling author of Rebecca.
Yeah.
One of the world's great storytellers, Daphne du Maurier, spins a dark gothic tale of passion and unswerving love that turns to suspicion and fear. Rachel, a woman of exquisite beauty, descends on the great Cornwall estate of Philip Ashley. Despite his aroused suspicions, she soon enchants him. In this tale of good and evil, Philip must decide whether the glorious Rachel, the recent mysterious widow of his beloved cousin, is out to destroy him, or is the innocent victim of devious men with a tremendous longing to be loved. His fate and his future lie in the answer to this deadly question.
Okay. Yeah. So, hey, there you have it.
Yeah.
So this was the one that kind of compelled me the most. I think I was really excited because I knew I was going to be purchasing this because of reading Rebecca. So finding it at a thrift store, I think it was $2.99.
Yeah. Based
And
on
it
that
seems like it's brand
synopsis,
new.
that's the one of the two I would read by her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
I think so. I don't know.
So it says it's soon to be a major motion picture. I'm wondering
If it ever
when
was.
this
Maybe they turned it into my Uncle Vinny, my cousin Vinny.
My cousin Vinny. That's my most compelling pickup.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll finish this out with a quote of the day. I'll go with the one from The River of Doubt that I just finished. I think it's a quote that is attributed to Roosevelt before this adventure. Only those are fit to live who do not fear to die.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it was his kind of way of, his view of life and how men and people should interact with the world. They should be willing to die in order to experience life.
That's intense.
Yeah.
That's intense. Okay, I can get behind that. Mine comes from Rebecca, and she's comparing a bowl of roses inside the house to kind of roses that are blooming on the shrub on the outside. And the way that she compares this is really good. It says, a bowl of roses in a drawing room had a depth of color and scent they had not possessed in the open. There was something rather blousy about roses in full bloom, something shallow and raucous, like women with untidy hair. In the house, they became mysterious and subtle. So that's my quote of the day.
Cool.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, that's the first episode
Yeah.
of Good
Books Lately. That was fun.
Yeah, let us know what
Let
you
us know
thought.
what you thought. Leave us some comments down below if you've read any of these books or if you have recommendations.
And also what books you've been reading lately.
Yes, what have you been reading lately? Keep us posted.
Any good ones?
If you took value from today's video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Welcome. This is Good Books Lately. I'm Brandon.
Should we just say welcome at the same time? Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, guys. You want to start it?
No, you were starting it. I start my videos all the time. Welcome back, guys.
You ready?
Okay, hold on. All right, I'll just say, and I'm Taylor. Or no, we're married.
I'll just start it.
Okay, maybe like, oh God.
Welcome. This is Good Books Lately. I'm Brandon. And she's Taylor. So while she does that, I'll do this. Brunch.